Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to entitle this video, maybe valuable stuff. And the reason why it's valuable stuff is there's some things that you develop on your own, and then there's some things that you kind of help people, tell people about, and they become attention to it. Because life every day is a learning experience, not just musically based, but just in general. Every day you learn, or hopefully you learn something new, or you start to notice stuff you never noticed that was always around you. But I'm not going to get into that because this is about music, but just thought I'd give you that example. And it goes something like this. From time to time when I get comments that I feel I need to expound on and do a video on, I do that. And this video is one of those videos where I touch on that and touch on other things. And I'm going to touch on these things first and there's other things in a minute. But I did a video called Do Not Overplay the Guitar. And it was about, the subject, don't overplay it. And there's some people that don't know what that means because I had somebody say, or leave me a comment. I would have loved to have seen some examples of that example. And I guess my response to that is, if I gave you those examples, you still wouldn't see it because it's something you develop. It's something that when you hear it, you know what it is. And I give you a good example. Many years ago, I was at this plaza, and off in the middle of it, they had this gospel band playing, and I was really kind of off to the side. I was buying something, and of course, you can hear the drums really loud, and they were so loud that they were. From that distance, I could hear mainly just the drums. I could hear the other instruments too, but mainly the drums since they were so loud. And I kept hearing, boom, I'm like, what the hell's going on there? And overplaying, it's like, there's a difference when it's time for you to show your stuff. They give you a couple of bars and you soloing, as opposed to throughout the entire song, you giving too much. Because most musicians, or should I say young musicians, don't realize if your name ain't on the marquee or you ain't got the mic in your face singing, you're the backdrop. Hello. You're not the main attraction unless you are the main attraction. And you have to, fit your role or get into your role. And your role is to kind of keep a backdrop to support the vocalist or who's ever the visual up on stage. And there's some people that don't understand that until later, and after a while you develop that, and then if you got a musical director, they kind of tell you, take it down a notch, dude. You kind of disrupting things because, again, we are the backdrop. The musicians are the backdrop, and the vocalist is the front piece. And there's some people that don't understand that concept. But as you continue to play, you start to develop and realize what you're supposed to do at that particular time and what you're not supposed to do. Because one of my favorite bass players, Coakley, I forgot his first name. He used to be with the group T Connection. Actually, the piano player and singer, or piano player / singer. That was the bass player was his brother. They were brothers, or are brothers. And what I loved about his bass playing, because each instrument is a little different as far as how you approach it. And like with the bass, my first instrument was sax. Then I went over to actually it was trumpet. Then I went over to bass. Then I picked up sax along the way. But I couldn't deal with the wind instruments because I'm like, I just ain't got that kind of wind to be blowing all the time. Get a headache, get dizzy. But what I love about his playing is most bass players know this, that, when you're playing the root note, in between, if you have space in between, you add in what's called fills or ghost notes. And he was the master of that, and you have to be careful because you could be borderline and knowing I'm giving too much now, and now I'm kind of put in the category of overplaying, so that's something that you develop over the years. It's not something that somebody could just tell you to do and you do it. You start to hear where you're supposed to be, and you definitely hear where you don't supposed to be. And as far as I was just about to make a point, it's getting away from me. As far as man, what am I? Well, kind of forget what I was about to say. But anyway, what was I about to? Yeah, so you can't, you have to develop that. That's just something that it just comes naturally. It's just like with me and drums. Since I play a little drums, the approach is the same. Keep the steady beat, and in between that, every now and then you add these little, variations. But when you're playing guitar and you're playing studio and you're a studio musician like myself, I have to be conscious of sticking to the script because this is how it's supposed to be. Now it varies because everybody's not the same or nobody's the same. It's supposed to be like this. You got chords or you got a lick line and you just play it. Every now and then you might add a little, but that's very reserved when you're doing studio work. Now when you're doing live, they don't give a damn about that. Just as long as you're not disrupting the singer, you can kind of add these little things that you couldn't add in the studio version. And it makes sense because when I play the play-alongs, as you guys see, that when I play it, every part that I play is consistent throughout the song as far as the structure. It's like the second time around the verse, is the guitar player or bass player playing the same thing? Absolutely. And it's still now he's playing a little something different. And sometimes it's hard to pick up all these variations, but there's some musicians that it's like, well, that's not what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just trying to do me, and I'm adding all this extra stuff. Because there was a Funkadelic song I done. I forgot the name of it. It was hard to follow because it was like I got to memorize all these little added variations. And I tried to catch most of them, but someone's like, I ain't got time to sit here for 2 hours trying to catch all these variations, But generally, you're supposed to just stick to the script and not overdo it. Because again, like I said, if I were to give this gentleman these examples, he wouldn't be able to pick them up anyway, because it's like you got to hear him. That same thing when, and I understand when people ask me this because this is what teaching has asked them to ask. What's the strumming pattern? And I'm like, I abandoned that up, down thing a long time ago. I play on feel. I can hear the rhythm and I can just lock in. And a good example, a good way to do that is, I don't know if you young folks do this anymore. I used to dance my tail off. I used to go to the clubs on Saturdays and just dance. And it was about enjoying the music and enjoying dancing, not so much I got to get at somebody this tonight is Saturday. No, I just came there for the love of the music and the love of the dance. And dancing helps you develop your rhythm that carries on to your playing. Because there are some people that they lost rhythmic wise, because they just can't hear the rhythm. And it's like I can hear the rhythm. And a lot of times the reason why early in my career, I didn't need to read the sheet music as far as the melody lines if I had to do the melody lines. So guess what? I could just hear them quickly and play them as opposed to pull out the sheet music. Oh, okay, A. Oh, okay, it's a slur there. Don't need to do that because I can hear everything that's going on. And after a while, your ear will develop to that point. Excuse me, there's a gnat in here that I got to kill sometime today. But, flying in my face. Hate those things. Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. But the point is this. As far as the rhythm thing, it will come. It will develop. But you gotta practice. And I know you've heard that one word a million times, but it's true. You can't get around that word. You gotta practice. Versus then and now as far as learning the instrument. You got the internet and you got people telling you stuff. And some of the stuff is good stuff. And some of it's not going to be helpful to you. They don't realize that and you don't realize that. Because again, I've seen people, and I'm not trying to be negative, that really can't play, but trying to teach other people to play. You don't know what chord you got up under your hand, but you're teaching other people this song in this manner. Not a good idea, but they don't know any better. So it ain't that they trying to be disruptive. They trying to be helpful, but they're not really being helpful. And then as far as that tab stuff, on the internet, stay away from that garbage because I've come to believe this, and I believe it's true. Even though it's weird, but I think it's true. There's some people that are just trying to disrupt what you're trying to do because it makes no sense to post a tab that's not in the key of the song. And my question is, how did you tab that song if you played it off the record or play along with the record and tab it in a different key? That makes no sense to me. So I come to the conclusion that there's some people that just want you to they get a kick out of throwing garbage up there and having you sift through their garbage. So I would stay away from that, because I have people always ask me, and I have to correct them. They like, oh, what's the tab for that? What's the diagram? Throw that nonsense in the garbage and learn the proper way. Because what all you doing now is asking for finger placements, and you don't understand the finger placements. Why are they there? What makes this chord this chord? because of the notes that I'm playing, as opposed to I don't know what I got under my hand. I'm just fingering something some dude told me to do off a tab. And then also on those tabs, if you look at it closely, the author is always some supposed young college dude in his dorm tabbing his stuff. And it's like these same tabs of the same authors scattered all over the internet. And again, it's because it's to trip you up. And I do understand that you don't know what you don't know, but if you're looking to do anything, and it's not just about music, but if you're looking to do anything, go find somebody that knows how to do it and does it properly. Instead of, I could do this by myself. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna self-teach myself, and it's gonna sound like you're a self-taught musician, and that's not a good thing. So I strongly suggest you young guys embark on your journey the right path. Again, if you got to go find somebody, this is not a sales plug for my thing, but I got DVDs 1 through 7, $35 over 7 hours, and I'll walk you through how to become a good rhythm musician the right way. We cut out this nonsense. So you got lost for 2 years because you thought you could do it yourself. Then you finally come to reality, back down to earth, and realize I better go get somebody to show me how to do this and do it right. Don't waste 2 years and money on something that's not going to get you where you need to go. Because I can say this, and of course it sounds ridiculous, but guitar's not that hard to play. Yeah, of course, you've been playing since you were 14. Yeah, absolutely. But if I would have known what I know over the last few years as far as theory and things of that nature, it would have took me less than that time to learn. But it's a good thing that I fumbled and stumbled, but at least I was fumbling and stumbling in the right direction, on the right path. It just took me time to develop, and you constantly, believe it or not, still develop. I'm a better guitar player now than I was 3 years ago. And if I'm still around and still doing what I'm doing in 3 years from now, I'll be a better guitar player than now. So, do it the right way. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching.